For this project, you need the following. You need a transparency that's 8.5 by 11. You need a 9 by 12 piece of black construction paper, an 18-inch ruler, some light colored pencil, just a regular pencil, some scissors, and a Sharpie. All right, so what we're making is a viewfinder. And this is gonna come in handy when we're doing projects because this is the same ratio as our regular paper, and you'll be able to draw on here, and then you'll be able to transfer this drawing onto another paper. So first thing, we need to cut out this rectangle. So you're going to be doing this in black paper, but I'm gonna do this in white paper so that you can see better. The first thing that you need to do is make sure that it's landscape in front of you. If it's portrait, you need to turn it this way because you're going to measure 1.5 inches down. So 1.5 inches on the right side, 1.5 inches on the left side. Double check those measurements because if you mess up the measurements, it's frustrating. So 1.5 inches top and bottom. So then we'll do the same thing on the bottom, on the left and the right, 1.5 inches. Okay, I'll put those measurements on there. Then we're going to draw a line across connecting those two marks. So I have one on the bottom and one on the top. Make sure you get them lined up. If you don't get it accurate, then it's going to be frustrating later. Okay. Now I'm going to draw a diagonal line that connects the corners, both sides. So making an X to connect my corners. Okay, this is where it can get kind of confusing. So I have my X and I have my horizontal lines. Where these two cross is where I'm going to be doing my next line from. People get confused and start to do them from elsewhere, so make sure that you are connecting where those two lines cross. Okay. And I connect those. And now I have this ratio that's going to be the size of my paper. After I cut this out, I can pinch this. This is the easiest way to cut it. Like that. And then I'm going to cut out my box. Okay, then when you're done, you should have something that looks like this. Okay, the next step is to fold in half, but not totally crease. You don't want to crease all the way here, just the inside. Pinch at the halfway point, open it up, and with a light colored pencil, you're going to mark where that crease is, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm lining up the corners, finding the halfway point, creasing, line up the corner, halfway point, crease, and then this way I'm going to know where things line up in the middle later. Okay, make sure that you label this with your name and class period. The next step is that we need to mark our transparency. So it's easier to see if you have a white piece of paper under it, but we're basically going to be making crosshairs or a mark that goes halfway here and halfway here. Okay, this paper is 8.5 by 11 inches. So I know with a Sharpie that I need to measure over 5.5 inches this way on the top, 5.5 inches on the bottom, and then I draw a line to connect. So this line should be 5.5 inches. Make sure that you double check your measurements. Okay, this is 8.5, so I need to divide that by 2. Gives me 4.25. 4.25 on that side. 4.25 here. Double check your measurements. And then I'm going to draw a line here. Okay, those measurements are 5.5 and 4.25. So now, when I take this off of the tissue paper, maybe, and I line up my marks that I made in the center, I can get it perfectly centered every time. Okay, make sure that you label this as well, so in case it falls out, we know whose it is. All right, now if you have these two things, you are done with your viewfinder.